This is Awake Radio Network.
A rational voice in a world of conspiracy. Jim Duke perspective.
All right, so Darren, I guess the Baltimore ship crash, the crash into the Baltimore bridge, is still somewhat of a topic. They're still trying to sort it out, where a massive cargo ship plowed into the Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, and it caused, I guess it's almost 2 miles, about a mile and a half long structure, and when it hit, it crumbled like toothpicks falling. And supposedly there were cars and people on it, and trucks and such. Whatever was on it crumbled into the river below. There were 6 construction workers filling potholes on the bridge. They vanished, but the bodies of 2 of them were recovered, found in a trapped red pickup in the river. And this is in Maryland. And this happened about 1:30 a.m. in the morning. So there was some activity on the bridge, and there was overnight construction workers. This was a Singapore flagged container vessel called Dali that struck the pillar of the bridge. The ship is about 980 feet long. That's about almost 3 football fields if you measure it out. And it was carrying 95,000 tons of
that's a lot.
Yeah, of product or whatever. It was chartered by the ship was chartered to carry cargo by Danish shipping giant Maersk. And we have some of them in our area. I've seen container trucks with that in it. So just before hitting the bridge, there was a total blackout on the ship. The ship lost its engine power and electrical power, and moments before the disaster, it was showing lights. There's video footage of lights flickering on and off, saying that it was possibly the emergency generator kicking in and out, activating after the initial blackout, but then it went out and total blackout before it hit the pillars. It never turned on again. So instead of crossing under the center of the bridge where the clearance was highest, the ship drifted to the right and crashed right into the pillar. So let's take this step by step. The concerns about this is that the large ship leaving the port of Baltimore typically follows a standard route under the bridge. And a CNN analyst of historical shipping data said that Dali diverged from that path moments before the crash. The Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore confirmed that Dali had lost engine power, and as a result of the momentary loss of power, it was unable to maintain control and into the desired heading and collided with the bridge. And the key bridge was fracture critical, did not survive. A large, the large portion of it next to the entire bridge pretty much collapsed. All right, so this whole thing, I say, geez, the bridge must have been that weak. But they say it's 47 years old, possibly meant to crumble in the case of a incident. That it's not made to crumble, but it's structured that if you stress out one area, a larger portion falls down. I mean, that doesn't sound too plausible, does it? Imagine if you were going across that and you seen a ship coming across, you said, oh, geez, if that ship hits, it's going to damage part of the bridge. No, it's going to damage the whole bridge. I wouldn't go on it.
Of course not. Makes no sense.
Now, suspicions. We're going to get into some suspicions because we're just basically briefing. This is a special edition just to get it in. The suspicions are that the report... Did you hear reports of the black box that used to record events upon a crash went out 2 minutes before the crash? Did you hear anything about that?
I didn't hear anything about the box. No.
I saw posts about that the box, they were unable to determine moments before they hit. However, I saw other reports that claimed it was recoverable, and it indicated that they called the tugboat prior to the crashing, showing that it had an emergency. So, I mean, are we going to go by memes and stuff that said that, black box were infunctionable? We're going to go by people's eyewitness or people's not eyewitness, people's speculative claims. We have to be careful when we see reports of this on social media because you don't know what's true until you see actual reports. I'd like to say until you see the official report, but we can't go by that either because they fabricate as well. But we have to know what to go by. We have to distinguish between people speculating and having opinions and those that are actually reporting true finds. So we're going to leave that one, all right? Now, we do know the bridge is a major route for transport of goods, and this will put a hiccup in the moving of products. Experts say the bridge collapse could cause a significant supply chain disruption. So because of that, people are suspecting that this was deliberate to disable the economy of the America. I mean...
Well, the possibility is there that it would be,
It's always
planned.
a possibility, right? We can't rule it out just because narrative didn't say that. So we have suspicions, but that's what we're not left in absolutes. We know this was sabotage. We know this was deliberate, which a lot of people jump on it. We can't say that yet. We do know the facts that China owns the ship. Synergy Marine Group, Singapore-based company, owns the ship. Now, this is strange that Congress just passed a budget in which it was already overbloated with LGBTQRST funding embedded in it. Supposedly money set aside for bridges and infrastructure and to pay for the government to run till September we have. But Biden went on immediately after this and announced that the government will pay for the repairs. Was that right for him just to kind of like go off course and say, hey, we know that the taxpayers have an obligation to pay the taxes for our supposed bloated budget, but now we're going to add this to the projects. That's not fair.
Of course not.
But I've also heard that it might come out of the fund, some of the LGB funding. They're not going to fund the parade that they were going to fund, Aaron. Oh, geez. No gay pride parade this year. Are you kidding me? Why is government providing activist group Pride Day parades and extravaganzas? Government's supposed to be there just to protect the citizens, protect the rights of the citizens. That's it. Well, they say, they're protecting the LGBT. No, protect their rights. They don't deserve to die. Like, people shouldn't wish harm on any individuals, so they have a right of freedoms and such, like everybody else. But to give them special days, special treatment, special parades, clothing out of our budget, education for people, that's ridiculous. That's above and beyond what the government's role is. The government, believe it or not, it's above and beyond the government's role to provide welfare, to provide education, like free education, college tuitions and such. But we do it, right?
Yeah, they're way beyond their reach, what they're doing.
Yeah. So they're going to pay for it. Now, it says that the data consistent with a power outage, they're investigating contaminated fuel that was possibly tampered with. So there are investigations with suspicions that maybe the fuel was tampered with. They're still, as far as I know. Now, what are the conspiracies around this? Because we have to highlight that, because there's a lot of, again, we can only go by speculation unless you know a fact that contributes to the legitimacy of the confirmations of these conspiracy theories. But some of the things being put out there is that, it's always a natural that our suspicions automatically point to a conspiracy, okay? It's got to be a conspiracy. We jump without facts, but, we hear anything that it's an occult ritual date to it's a terrorist attack. There were some sites out there saying that this was actually a terrorist attack from China.
I heard that several sites.
Yeah. I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying that upon this bridge, maybe it was a warning. I don't know. I can't say. I don't have that information. Could it be? Yeah. It could also have been Martians from Mars, right? Because I don't have to prove it to say that. But
right.
I don't think it is. Okay?
You don't think it's a terrorist, right?
I don't know if it's a terrorist attack. I can't say one way or another. It could be. I can't rule that out. But I can say that it's not an alien attack. Why? Well, because that's not rational. And
right.
What would aliens have to do with crashing a ship? I don't know. It's just not plausible for me to believe that. A cyber attack from China? We hear that too. It could be, right? Possible.
I heard that one.
Okay.
I heard from Ukraine as well.
All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, we could put them up. Let's not, though, guarantee it. Let's not tell people that we have established that it's a conspiracy, it's a cyber attack, it's a terrorist attack, it's attack from... We can't state that without surety. Like, we can't be sure about things. We're just putting up the speculations. But it's a plot to disable our transportation. Well, let's take the fact. The fact is that it was a ship that hit a bridge that was a main route of transportation for products. So the fact is, yes, it did disable our transportation, right? But
yes, it did for 5 years. It'll take 4 to 5 years to build a bridge.
Right. It took 10 years the first time, I think they said, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm not sure about how long.
Or did it take 5 years the first time, and they said 10 years this time, something like that.
Oh, right. Okay.
Something like that. But I don't know. They got to get it up quick. Maybe with the government's budget, they'll do it quicker. But it did disable transportation in that area. That's a fact, right? Whether it was
absolutely
whether it was a conspiracy or a plot or a deliberate disabling of the transportation, that we cannot say without speculation. Could it be? Right. Yeah. Could be the Democrats, Darren. I don't know. Could be the globalists. Could be China. I don't know. But it did disable transportation. We have that much. How about it's an act to get off the topics of the economy, the budget, and Biden dismantling America? Could it have been just a distraction, false flag? We'll just fake this ship into the building, and we'll all be focused on this. We'll get into the bridge. We'll get our focus off the economy and the budget and Biden's ill-mannered policies. Could
possible, but unlikely.
Yeah. Would you spend all that much trouble just maybe it's to get our minds off of P. Diddy or whatever his name is. No, I don't know.
Well, I heard
he was cited for trafficking. Child trafficking.
I heard that, and also trafficking. They said this was a ship that was supposedly harboring, sex trafficking of humans and
really?
children. Yeah, so they averted that and then they caused this. The good guys. That was just one video that I heard.
Huh.
They presenting some evidence, whether or not it was actual true or not, who knows? I believe Evergreen was that ship that went sideways into the so what was it? What canal was that? A couple years back, 4 years ago maybe. But this one, it's not as believable, but possible.
Okay. No, I mean, yeah, it's plausible. I mean, some say that it was a result of the pilot being vaxxed and all of a sudden going into arrest, losing mental focus.
Like pilots.
On the vax.
Of a vax. That's funny. I didn't hear that one.
Yeah. So...
watch your mouth. You can't say the V word.
I said it. Maybe they'll gloss over it on that one. I didn't really make it a topic, so maybe. Well, here's the thing is, conspiracy sites report intentional probabilities. and the further to stifle the economy or hinder our way of life for more control. Yeah, those things always do kind of tend to put us in chaos. And, something like 9/11 was much more significant. This was just a certain area, a certain region, and a certain disabling. Maybe it's to disable us a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's the elite trying to put more damper on our lives. I don't know. Either way, it did put some damper in our, in our lives. The transportation is going to be altered and everything else. And we could fill in the details of speculation, fit it in any preconceived biases we have towards whatever it is that happens and what we want to believe. But again, the fact that conspiracies are potential doesn't necessarily mean that every claim is true.
Correct.
But the narrative doesn't rule out such suspicions either. So the official narrative.
Right.
So that's where we're at with that. I wanted to bring
Go
ahead.
Another thing is there was some smoke protruding from like the portions of the bridge that were not associated with the hit.
Okay, I forgot to mention that. Good point. Okay, so what are they saying?
Well, I'm thinking whether or not that was CGI, but it didn't look like CGI. It looked like it was actual because they were saying that there was structural explosives.
Yep.
Even detonation experts were called to the witness, and they said it's legitimate explosives that were used.
Okay, good point. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I've heard that. So that's the other speculation is people saw smoke and in different places of the posts on the bridge, and they said that maybe it was helped in some way. Right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. That's that could be possible. I forgot. I heard that one. I forgot to put that down. So thanks. All right. So those are the possibilities, and that's how we're going to leave it right now, addressing the Baltimore Bridge, because that's all I know. So, all right. So we'll end it there. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.